I swear to you, this really happened. I don't care if you believe me or not, but if you ever find yourself alone on a highway late at night, and you see a rest stop that doesn't appear on any map, keep driving. It was late October when I took that drive, the kind of cold where the air has a bite to it, but there's no snow yet. I was heading home from my parents' house in Pennsylvania, a long 6-hour drive through mostly empty highways and miles of nothingness. I'd done the trip dozens of times before. I left around 8 p.m. I should have been home by 2 a.m. at the latest. I never made it home that night. Around 1 a.m., exhaustion started creeping in. My eyes burned, my hands ached from gripping the steering wheel for so long, and my gas tank was dipping toward empty. Then I saw a sign I didn't remember ever seeing before. Rest stop 1 mile. I was relieved. I didn't recall a rest stop on this stretch of road, but maybe I had just missed it in the past. A minute later, I saw the turnoff, a narrow tree-lined exit ramp leading into darkness. There were no other cars, no big signs, just a single flickering streetlight marking the entrance. Something about it felt wrong, but I was exhausted, so I took it. The road twisted and turned, and the trees pressing in close. I drove about a quarter mile before the rest stop finally came into view. It was small, just a single outdated building sitting in the middle of a cracked parking lot. 2 rusted gas pumps stood to the side, their screens dark. A couple of old vending machines flickered through the window. The whole place looked like it hadn't been updated in decades. But the lights were on inside. I pulled in, parked near the entrance, and sat for a second, feeling uneasy. The place was eerily silent. No cars, no sound of crickets, not even the distant hum of the highway. I checked my phone. No signal. Great. Still, I was too tired to care. I needed a break. I stepped out, shivering as the cold air wrapped around me. That's when I noticed something strange. The clock on my dashboard had read 1:13 a.m. when I pulled in. The clock above the rest stop's entrance read 12:15 a.m. Broken, I told myself. Just an old, busted clock. Then the door creaked open, and someone stepped out. An old man emerged from the doorway wearing a faded blue uniform. His face was pale, almost gray, and his eyes were too light, like his irises were barely there. He just stood there staring at me. I hesitated, gripping my keys. "Bathroom?" I asked, just to break the silence. He nodded slowly and pointed down a dark hallway inside. I forced a smile and stepped past him, the smell of mildew hitting me as I entered. The inside was even worse than the outside. The walls were yellowed, the vending machines were stocked with ancient snacks, and the air was heavy with something rotting beneath the disinfectant. But the worst part? There was a mirror along the back wall, a long horizontal mirror stretching from one end of the room to the other. And when I looked into it, I didn't see myself. I should have turned around right then. I should have run. But I didn't. I went to the bathroom. The bathroom was at the end of a narrow hall, lit by a single flickering light. The door was cracked open. Inside, it was a disaster. Yellowed tiles, a single stained sink, and a row of stalls with doors that didn't quite close. I stepped into the first stall, locked the door, and sat there trying to shake the growing unease in my gut. Then I heard it. Shuffle. Footsteps. Someone else had entered. I glanced under the stall door. Nothing. But the footsteps were there, slow, deliberate, stopping just outside my stall. I held my breath. Then from the gap between the door and the frame, an eye appeared, watching me. I didn't think, I just kicked the door open. There was no one there. The bathroom was empty. But something had changed. The stall doors were all open now. And in the mirror above the sink, my reflection was facing the wrong way. I bolted. I sprinted down the hall back into the main room. The old man was still behind the counter, still watching me, his mouth slightly open now. But I didn't stop. I shoved open the glass door and ran outside. My car was gone. The parking lot was empty. No tire tracks, no signs of movement. Just an endless stretch of cracked pavement and a cold wind whistling through the trees. My breath came in short gasps. No, 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 no. I dug through my pockets. My keys were still there. But there was no car to use them on. I turned back to the rest stop. The old man was still standing in the doorway watching. And behind him, something else moved. Tall, too tall. A figure in the darkness, its limbs too long, its head tilted at an unnatural angle. I didn't wait. I ran. I sprinted down the road, back toward where I had entered. But the road never ended. I ran for what felt like miles, my breath burning in my lungs, the trees closing in on either side. Then headlights. Up ahead, my car was parked on the road, engine running, driver's side door open. I skidded to a stop, heart pounding. Something wasn't right. I stepped closer, peering through the windshield, and I saw myself sitting in the driver's seat. Not a reflection, not a hallucination. Monsieur. And he turned and looked right at me. Then, without opening his mouth, he spoke. Get in. 6. The final warning. I didn't move. My double kept staring, his face blank, his eyes too light, just like the old man's. The wind howled through the trees, and behind me I heard something moving. Heavy footsteps. I didn't look back. I ran toward my car, my real car, and yanked open the passenger door. As soon as I jumped in, everything went black. When I woke up, I was in my driveway. Car off, my hands still gripping the wheel. Morning sunlight streamed through the windshield. Had it been a dream? A hallucination? Then I saw the dust on my dashboard. There, written in smeared fingerprints, see you soon. I don't drive that highway anymore. And if you ever find yourself alone on the road late at night, and you see a rest stop that wasn't on your map, keep driving. You won't leave if you stop.